Hello folks and welcome back to Transportation Inc. We are now on chapter 5 of story mode. We're finally going to get to unlock some things. Here's our story of what's going on, but really we're getting big vehicles now. We're also getting some annoyances with having to deal with contracts and a few other things. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We're also, looks like we're able to go through and expand and grab new places. So now we don't only have France, we also have Switzerland. And one of our goals here is to add on a total of 3 countries. We get 1 for free at the beginning of the game, and then we have 2 more that we need to go through and get. We also have to go through and own 40 buses and 7 trucks. If you take a look at this, we have some new buses that are outrageously expensive, outrageously comfortable, and can also go pretty fast while using a whole lot of fuel. So we're going to explore those a little later on here. Start off by trying to find some basic routes that allow us to do cargo and bus routes and first class passengers, and I always like starting with the cheapest bus and upgrading it and hoping for the best. We're also going to add on a depot so we can get things set up, and then we're going to use some of our budget also to set our manager so we don't have to worry about that. After we do this, the game's kind of in autopilot for a little bit of time as far as we're just going to keep making money. We're going to go through and make sure that we're expanding our network and make sure that we're doing it at a faster rate than our competitors. We've now come to our first problem. If you take a look at the top bar there, our little driver area, which was not activated before, is blinking, which basically means that our drivers are not happy. And if they get too unhappy, they're going to go on strike, and when they go on strike, you have to pay them off. Problem being that is if you don't have enough money, you're done. Game's over, you can't do anything. You can try selling your stuff, but it's not going to work. So you have to go ahead and make sure that your drivers have that little, instead of kind of sad okay face, you want to make sure they're a big smiley face, and you'll be in good shape. And we're just going to keep expanding our network here, adding cargo and whatever else we need, while also spending more money on drivers, because drivers in this game, especially early on, are going to keep demanding things, and you have to keep paying them off. Otherwise, again, they go on strike. And just a heads up, not a whole lot of game time has actually gone through here before the drivers get upset again. Luckily, once you get that bar all the way off to the right, they don't ask for any more money, but it takes a little while for them to get there, and it's really annoying. Now, I'm a big believer in trying to connect as much as you can before you expand out, so I'm going to spend a lot of time here just going through trying to get as much of France built out as possible and connect it over with Switzerland as well, since I already own it. But I'm also taking a look and peeking in at different countries here, just seeing what they cost, because the more cities a country has, the more expensive it is. There's a relationship between the number of cities and how expensive it is to expand them. So I'm going to try to find the absolute cheapest place to expand here, because I don't have a lot of money and I need a place to expand to start trying to knock off some of the goals here, along with trying to make sure I can expand my network and vehicles and all the other stuff I need to do here. And after some quick exploring, the absolute cheapest country to add on is Luxembourg. It is made up of one city, the city of Luxembourg, and it's only $25,000. So it's the same as a depot. And I'm able to go through and connect it with a couple of other towns and cities through here and expand the network. Again, I'm 2/3 of the way through my goals as far as countries go. I'm not anywhere close as far as buses go, and I have knocked out all of the trucks that I need to do. So my goal right now is to focus on building more bus routes, and then also adding 1 more country at a minimum. Sometimes you're going to add on a lot more just because to build your network, to be able to get to the number of buses that are required, you're going to have to buy more land, because sticking a lot of buses onto the same routes is going to cause everything to lose money, and that's not the goal of the game. And we're going to knock out a whole bunch of countries here. We're going to add on Brussels and connect that all the way through to make sure that I have transportation's network set up, and again, adding on buses as quickly as possible to have them all there. Once we add on Brussels, we're going to look for another cheap country that has some options, and that cheap country that has some options happens to be the Netherlands. So we're going to go in and add that. There's only 2 towns, so it's not really super expensive, but again, we're trying to connect things to other places, and you can see as we are building this on, you can connect to other countries as well. At this point, we're really starting to accumulate money quickly because we have a lot of routes going to a lot of different places, and our ultimate goal here is just to make sure we fill up to get to the 40 buses. So we're going to add on a giant country here, which is Germany, which is shockingly inexpensive for how big it is and how many cities it has. But we're going to go through, and this should allow us to go through and pretty much connect as much as we need to have this entire place kind of light up and go through. You're going to see our bus count go up really quickly here. We have so much money at this point that we can add on one of the $450,000 buses. It fits 45 regular passengers along with 20 first class passengers, and we can do seat upgrades and speed upgrades and all kinds of stuff. And this thing is a money machine. This thing going from where it is, I believe that's Berlin to Leipzig, that's bringing in about $12,000 every trip, and it's a short trip, so it's a big money maker for us. We only have 10 buses to go and lots of routes to create inside of Germany. So we're going to go through and start connecting all of those together in places that make sense and that can build off each other. And then we're actually going to go and buy one more country, which is Austria, just to have a little bit more space to expand. And at this point, we have 4 bus routes that are left that we have to go through to build the rest of this thing. And you can see we're quickly adding on buses to be able to do this. All throughout this as well, I'm upgrading the depots, which I think is important for a couple reasons. One, it does cost some money and does cost routine maintenance prices, so it's going to go up. But adding more spots allows you to have more things be serviced and not break down as often. But more importantly, in my mind, if you upgrade the service itself, it's going to happen faster, which gets your vehicles back out on the road quicker. So while it costs a little bit more money, it allows all of your transportation machines to make more money more quickly. So for me, it's totally worth it to spend the money and go through here. We have 2 buses left to go here, and we're just kind of finding which routes are quick and easy and inexpensive because we spent a lot of money here in the last little bit. We're going through and just upgrading and adding on buses. This is not really necessary to keep upgrading the buses. We're just about done, but it makes me feel better. And we're just going to add on our last route here, and once we have our last routes decided, we should have this round completed. You can see that I'm upgrading the depot, even though, again, we have 1 bus left to build. We're going to go and add that route on, and then once that route is built, we'll drop the bus on there. It doesn't really matter which one we do because the game is over as soon as we do that.